Hello everyone, welcome back to Mouthfools. I'm your host Hayden, but that's not important. We're joined by my equally talented and equally attractive co-hosts Daniel Failboat, Jaymoji, and Gabriel Gaming. Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon. The Pokemon Presents happened quite recently, and we didn't really expect anything much from it until, you know, they kind of dropped a whole new generation of Pokemon, which is kind of a big deal. And, you know, it's kind of like a big thing that people are talking about. So I wanted to hear what you guys think about it. Like, have you guys had a chance to watch at least the reveal of Gen 9 yet? I know me and Dan watched it together, so...
I haven't actually had the chance to actually watch the presents, but I've seen Twitter's just extensive recap of everything. So I think essentially I've gotten a pretty good idea of what's going on. I've seen not only the starters, but all of the hype around the starters, the fear that one of the starters in particular is going to stand on two legs for some reason, and some other stuff that I wouldn't really talk about in the episode. So there's a lot going on surrounding this new gen of Pokemon that I think I've kind of got the gist of. I haven't seen the actual presents myself, but I did see the trailer, and it looks... That's
what I mean, like the trailer. That's the important part, the reveal trailer.
Yeah. Okay. I got the meat and potatoes, and it does look pretty good from what I've seen.
What about you, Gab?
I've actually kind of skimmed the Pokemon Direct, you know, I kind of went like, oh, Pokemon Go news, skip, Pokemon Unite news, skip, Pokemon something news, skip, and then I went to the reveal, and from what I saw, I have mixed feeling because I haven't even finished the Legend Arceus right now. Arceus or Arceus? Can't remember.
I think canonically it's Arceus, but that sounds fucking stupid. I'm gonna be 100. Like I think like the official way of pronouncing the Pokemon name is it was Arceus, and then they made it Arceus because Arceus sounds like arse, which is how British people say ass. But like it sounds so much better. It sounds so much better as Arceus. So
well, now I'm definitively calling it Arceus. Just
exactly. Just to like spite Nintendo at this point, Pokemon Company. Sorry. Yes. I should have like prefaced. I don't care if you guys watch the presents because honestly, not worth watching. All I meant is the reveal trailer. Like honestly, like that was the only noteworthy thing that happened in the. I guess there was like Arceus DLC, but it wasn't really anything.
That is true.
Yeah.
Well, I think there was a few like gym stuff and Pokemon battles here and there, or were they already in the?
It was like. See, it was so not noteworthy that I don't really know what it was. It was Daybreak, and it was like, I think it was Alpha Outbreaks.
Yeah,
like outbreaks that like were consisted completely of just Alpha Pokemon. That's what I got from it.
But still, that's not the reveal. We want to talk about like the juicy part.
Yeah.
The main squeezed.
Precisely. So obviously, new generation of Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet. It's a big deal because it's been 3 years. 2019 was when Sword and Shield was released. So I have a very important question I need to ask all of you. I think I know where Dan stands, but I'm going to ask him again anyway. Which starter are you going to be pledging your allegiance to? Is it going to be Fuecoco, the little fire crocodile guy? Is it going to be Quaxley, the just honestly adorable, probably like the cutest little ducky, the little ducky with like the little pirate hat, to die for? Honestly, really, really, really cute. Or Sprigatito.
Well, I know which one Hayden's picking.
we'll give it away.
I have a strange itch in my brain that says.
Which one I mean, to be fair, we've known each other for quite a while, so maybe that's why you kind of got that. Which one are you guys pledging your heart, your soul, and your blood and your tears to?
So the only one I'm not pledging to is Sprigatito, or whatever the stupid little weed cat's name is. I will admit, they have gotten cuter to me the more I've seen them like drawn, and you know, at the end of the day, it is a cute cat. Yeah. I made a tweet that was like, "Oh, Sprigatito fans on the timeline, they ruined." But that's only because Fuecoco and Quaxl are so inspired and so cool looking that by comparison, Sprigatito is just like, or Sprigatito.
Sprigatito, you got it right.
Yeah, like that thing is just bland. I'm hoping. I'm a positive kind of guy that it gets a better evolution chain or a more inspired evolution chain. But oh my god, I would love to go Quaxel if it becomes a little Captain Duck. But like Fuecoco, the fire pepper crocodile, that's so cool. That is far and away my favorite starter design in a long time. It just feels inspired from the get-go, and I can't wait to see where its evolution line goes.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to second the motion here with Dan.
Are you a Fuecoco guy?
I'm Fuecoco all the way. I always love fire types because fire types are dope as hell. And so yeah, somebody in my chat yesterday described Fuecoco as the crocodile pepper. Yeah. And it completely changed my perspective of how I saw it.
Look at him.
He's a little pepper, and I love that he's spicy. He's not hot. He's on a fire type. He's spicy, and I think that makes it. I think I identify with that in a certain way, and I love him.
He looks like he's wrong. Sorry, he looks like he's just told a joke, and he's waiting for everyone to like laugh at it.
And I resonate with that on a spiritual level, so I think that has to be my one. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the duck and the asparagus one, but the Fuecoco is the way. All the Fuecoco is the way.
Asparagus one is my favorite way of describing Sprigatito.
I don't remember the name. They all sounds the same to me.
That is fair. I will be real. If I have to get a soul read on everyone here, Fuecoco, like actually no. I'll let Gab answer the question before I put my soul read.
Oh, okay. Well, did you have anything else to say, Jay, before I jump into this great chapter of my belonging in the starters of the new generation of Pokemon?
Only that I'm going to intensely judge you if it's not Fuecoco, but go on.
Well, judge ahead, good sir. But yeah, I believe in hat duck supremacy myself, you know. I think little Bubber Ducky is gonna go far. But I am willing to change my decision depending on what the evolutions look like. Because if Grass Cat becomes more like, I think it's Shinx that becomes, you know, Luxray and all that. And I really like when the cat Pokemon just become more like a panther Pokemon or big cat or lion and stuff like that. And I don't like the, I am now on two-leg cat. It's the, like, Incineroar, not my cup of tea. I respect people who love Incineroar, but not me. And if Fuecoco becomes some kind of, like, you know, Aztec serpent, quizzical type-ish, I'm probably butchering that name of a deity, but if he becomes like that, I may be like, oh, you are one cool son of a gun, I just might consider you. But for now, Hat Duck is all I need in life.
I hope Fuecoco becomes a bell pepper. Just like a bigger pepper.
I mean, he starts as a bell pepper, doesn't he? Technically,
that's true. Well, he's like a chili pepper now because he's a small one. I think the bell peppers are like the big ones, right? And then his third evolution, he gets chopped up and turned into like a really nice salad.
He just becomes a bowl with like
he becomes a burrito bowl for Chipotle.
Really spicy bowl.
Now that is an evolution chain.
Okay, so I got my soul read completely wrong. Like immediately after you answered the question, my soul read was you were all gonna be Fuecoco because you're all gremlins. Because every person I know that not Fuecoco and Sprigatito are definitely the most popular choices I've seen, but also most people I've seen that resonate more with Fuecoco are also the more gremlin type of person because he's a little gremlin, isn't he? He's just like a
little tiny gremlin.
He's like Gibble. He's all mouth and no body.
Again, and I resonate with that on a spiritual level.
He's just the guy with the big mouth and a little tiny pair of legs. He's adorable. I definitely agree, like, big time with what you said, Gab, about my opinion and who I'm gonna resonate more with. Strongly depends on the evolution line. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna try and keep blind to that and just discover the evolutions as I play the games for the first time. But I think Sprigatito definitely, like Dan said, definitely has grown on me. When I saw it, it definitely looked like the Gluey as choice of starter Pokemon. It looked like if you chose Sprigatito, you ate cardboard. No offense to any Sprigatito fans out there.
Why are we so mean to Sprigatito fans? It's like asparagus, cardboard cat, son of a gun. Fuecoco, I was like, immediately I was like, oh, this is cute. He's just a little guy. There's no surprise. I'm into the little duck, the duck that looks like he's got a little captain's hat. Cause like the possibilities are so good there. Like I want to call him Luffy, and I want him to grow into like a big, strong 30 Evo pirate. Because how sick would that be? How sick would that be? I mean, I would actually be okay with like him evolving into like water fighting or water steel or something. I just realized, Failboat, what will you do if that duck evolves into like an admiral duck with an absolute captain's hat?
That's what I mean, yeah, like a pirate.
You got no, not even a pirate, like Navy captain, like just like Failboat in this platoon, is exactly captain hat and all that. You gotta pick him, you don't have a choice if that happens.
Oh, I would absolutely lose my mind. That would be the only thing that would pull me from Fuecoco.
I think I could see it happening where he's like a captain, like a naval captain, but it would be so much cooler. So much, because like the only reason it makes me think that they're gonna go the pirate route is because the hair or whatever the hell it is on his head looks like a pirate hat. Like it has the shape of a pirate hat, which really like I have hope that he's gonna become like this burly like big pirate duck. That is my please, I don't want him to fuck him up. He has so much potential. Also, I really hope Sprigatito doesn't stand up, for the love of God. I know so many people have already said that, but like it's literally over if Sprigatito stands on its hind legs. I've been burned before. I liked Litten, and then look what they did to him. They ruined him. Litten and Torracat were really cool, and then they were like, okay, now rise, my child. And then he got like a fire belt, which looked like something else. Why? They didn't need to do any of that.
But I just thought of something that could be fantastic if Pokemon did this for this new generation, is that the starters each gets 2 branch of evolutions depending on what things you do in the story or stuff like that. Like for example, Mr. Haddock, depending like if you do some good choice or some bad choice, could become like a classic Navy captain, but if you're like a bad trainer, he becomes a pirate. And El Fueco could become, if you're a good boy, he becomes a taco, but if you're not a good boy, then he becomes some kind of giant apocalypse serpent or something like that. And the cat could be, if you're good, he stays a cat, and if you're bad, he goes on 2 legs,
Oh, so like a morality alignment evolution.
Yeah.
So like if you do enough good things and get your karma up, the Pokemon reflects that almost.
Yeah, your starter reflects your personality. Now
that could be interesting.
That would definitely be an interesting approach. I can see people getting very, very angry not knowing that their choices would affect like, oh, I could have a really badass duck. No, he's just a little guy with a captain's hat now. With a pair of glasses, and he's a dweeb, and that's because you decided to help the old lady cross the road that one time. I can see people getting very not pleased, putting like 60 hours into their Pokemon game just to see that happen.
Dude, I can see people on Twitter not getting pleased by putting 60 hours into their Pokemon game, period. So I think at this point they could just throw whatever in, and people will be like, this fucking sucks. But I guess that's how Twitter usually is. It's
Twitter.
Everybody complain about Pokemon sites.
Twitter is the cesspool of it is the breeding ground of people complaining about everything.
Yeah, definitely. Twitter exaggerating over a minor inconvenience? They would never.
No such thing. Come on now.
Speaking about exaggerating on minor inconveniences, it speaks volumes that the only issues I have so far with I guess one of them is kind of like a big thing, but like most of the major issues I have with the new Pokemon games are very, very surface level things that are like that I'm nitpicking essentially. Like they're not deal breakers. They're just things I noticed that are like, huh, that's interesting. Like I don't know if you guys have seen the logos, for example. I think these look like they were made 10 minutes before the presentation. I don't think they look very good at all.
Oh,
like, and I think the issue I have is that I like the Scarlet one more than I like Violet. But do you know what bothers me the most? Look at Pokemon Violet's logo. Look at the Violet text. Look how it's aligned with the Pokemon logo. It's off center.
Oh, is it? It is the V that sticks out a little more.
It's off center, and it drives me crazy. It's the worst thing to look at because I'm like, please just shift the logo just a little bit to the left. Right. No, not left. No, that'd make it worse.
Yeah.
Shift it a bit more to the right and
just embrace it all the way and just put it like in a different out of frame, way to the left.
just have it like left aligned, to fix the problem. But yeah, no, see, I think the Scarlet one is okay. I think the Violet one looks like it's like, I know it's not actually Impact, but it looks like a very like default Windows font that they just decided to type Violet into.
It reminded me of a word art with just a yellow outline over it, and that's not a good sign.
It's not a good sign. Yeah. The yellow is also really fucking obnoxious. Like it's so obnoxious because I know it's like someone kind of informed me as to why the colors are that way because the new Pokemon region is Spain, right? Spain is based in Spain.
Oh, I did not know that.
This is like where the colors, because like the environments are very like there's like that castle which looks like that big castle in Barcelona, and then there's maps inside the buildings that like look like the Spanish Peninsula or something. I completely probably butchered what that's actually called. And also the building at the end, like the house looked like an interior of a Spanish home. And the colors, it makes sense because they're based off of this. It's called the Second Spanish Republic flag. It's not a flag nowadays. I think this is an old flag. But if you do you see that where it's red, yellow, and purple, which kind of lines up with the scarlet, violet, and the yellow border. But like, and I get that. Like, it makes sense. It's like, yeah, okay, that is thematically makes a lot of sense. But look at the yellow, and then look at the yellow in the Pokemon logo. It's so much more like less obnoxious, if that makes sense.
It's a lot more striking, just because it's, I guess because it's on the outside, it does look like it's just like someone went into the editing program, was like, apply stroke.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just way too saturated, I guess is the word. Like, it looks like the kind of yellow you'd put on a YouTube thumbnail. I made the joke saying that these look like banners, like banner logos I'd make when I was 13 years old for a YouTube channel. But yeah, no, it's just I think if the yellow was way more muted, I think it would look good. That's my only issues with that. Yeah,
no, I hear you. They definitely aren't. I don't think it's necessarily that they're like super bad, but that they could be so cool. Because like Violet, they could have made it like, they could have embraced the outer space thing and put like a space background exploding. And then Scarlet, they could have really embraced the, the sort of cursive sort of thing that they're doing with it, and then made it like I love the textures on both. So they could have done that, but then maybe bent it so that it bends with the Pokemon logo, or that it bends up against the Pokemon logo, and it's got like roses coming out of it or something in the Scarlet logo, and then the Violet one could have also a flower or something like that. So I don't know. I think there might be potential for them to have done something that maybe was a little more like visually, wow, that's striking. But I suppose, like you were saying, the fact that, like you mentioned before, the fact that is like the major critique now is pretty good. Like so far, if that's the main thing that's like, then I think that means that we're very much aligned for a very good game, because I think from the reveal trailer, like the game looks very good, which I know Pokemon fans have a very particular nitpick with the games, is the graphic quality and whatever else. But it looks, I don't know, it looks really good.
Yeah, no, I definitely I agree. I feel like we'd have to see more. I have other slight concerns that kind of come from the fact that it's still a Nintendo Switch game. Like there was like the windmill that was running at like 5 FPS in the background, and some of the frame rate issues in the game. And there's like that weird, I don't know what it is, because I'm not like super informed on what the terminology for that kind of thing is, but like it's that weird like anti-aliasing thing where everything looks more pixely than it is. And it's like very striking on Pokemon games. Like it was noticeable in Legends Arceus as well, where I think someone described it as like anti-aliasing to the nearest whatever it is, like nearest pixel or something, so it makes everything like look blurry but pixely at the same time. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I know. I noticed that a little bit in the trailer. I was like, it's not a deal breaker because I'm used to it from Arceus, but like the frame rate, it would be nice if it was optimized in a way that it didn't, like, you didn't see things in the background just going, you know what I mean? Instead of just like a solid movement. Even if it meant like, you know, loading in like a lower quality asset to make sure that it could like do the animation. If that makes sense. Yeah. And then like my only other real issue, it's not an issue, it's just like weird to me, is that let me pose these guys. The protagonists are very NPC looking. They're so like,
oh yes,
they're so boring.
I think these drawings are even better than what they looked like in game. Like it just, for some reason, the in-game model for some reason didn't look like Pokemon. Strangely.
Yeah, they look like did you ever play Pokemon Snap?
I never played Pokemon Snap.
Okay. No. They look like the people from Pokemon Snap. And it's weird because it like they look like default characters, you know, like you go to a character customization screen in an RPG or something, you load up Elden Ring, they look like the default slate that they would give you, which is weird because they're going to be using these characters in the promotional material, so you'd think they'd want to give them like cool outfits and cool like hairstyles and stuff like off the bat, because like you've seen every other protagonist in a Pokemon game, they usually look way more interesting.
I mean, just look at the, you know, Sword and Shield protagonist. People were much more like, oh, look at them, they're so cool. And this one, for me, I think the eyes, the way they look at things for the new Scarlet and Violet, it's kind of that uncanny valley, you know? I think they pierces into my soul when I see that. I'm like, I don't want to play you. You're weird. I don't like these new protagonists.
Yeah, no, neither.
I have to wonder if maybe part of the reason why, because I agree these are very default looking characters, but I have to wonder if maybe that's just because when they, you know, released this trailer and they produced it, they didn't actually have like confident, set in stone, fully developed customizations yet. Maybe because they're going to develop so many customizations this time that they're taking their time to showcase it. But I agree. I feel like in the reveal trailer, they should have some sort of like, you know, me, for example, show a guy that has dreads so that we know that you're going to put dreads in the game. They usually have really cool, you know, dreadlock designs, or they have cornrows or something like that.
Yeah.
They'll have, you know, for the, they'll have like that. Like they have the little twisty bow thing, which is cute, but they might have a straight hair variant. They might have a partition for the guy. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different types of things that I think are so default that they could have showcased, but the fact that it's just fit, and like the outfits, they don't show you in any different outfit, and the outfit's cool, the default one. Like I don't know, I guess it's just maybe they're just working on a lot of improvements and a lot of customizations. But it's strange that they wouldn't show a lot of like alteration in the reveal trailer.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you're right, but usually they show like the base protagonists, like the base trainers first, like because they always have like promotional trainers that are like the canon designs that they use in their promotional material, and then character customization is something they announce later. But I think the main crutch is they look so uninspired that it's just it's a weird choice.
Yeah. And I would also like to say on your point earlier about the graphics, it kind of got me thinking when you were mentioning like the windmills and some certain things that seem like they fall behind when the rest of the game seems visually beautiful, and the anti-aliasing and stuff. I noticed in, I guess most game trailers kind of reveal this. They reveal like when they are, especially reveal trailers early on, they show, you know, in the bottom corner, gameplay footage is not final, or game footage not final.
Yeah.
This is just the, but I have to often wonder, I feel like this has been a debate for a long time. How frequently is that footage actually not final footage? Like I wonder if maybe they just say that in case everyone on Earth is like, the grass should be orange instead of green, and they're like, oh shit, we got to change the grass to orange for whatever reason. But like, I have to wonder how often they put out footage that isn't final, and then when it gets to the game, it's completely different. And I'd assume better than what the trailer promotes. Like, what's the likelihood that those specific things, like the anti-aliasing and the certain windmills going at slower FPS and other things that might be lacking behind, what's the likelihood that those things will actually be more up to snuff when the game comes out? Or is that even a realistic expectation to have for any game?
It's like I'd say it's realistic to expect changes, considering the game, we're probably like 8 months off of the game. Like it was announced like a while. It was like announced like more in advance than a lot of games are nowadays.
That's true. That's true. A lot of time.
So they have a lot of time to change things based on reception and stuff. I don't know if they'll change any of the FPS issues. They might be able, like I said, they might be able to optimize it. Like there's like a thing called level of detail. If they create like lower quality assets to make the game run better, maybe, then like say you're like at a certain distance away, the game would load in like a lower quality version of that asset, that model, so that it will animate at a decent frame rate because the game isn't working as hard to make it do that, instead of like cutting the frame rate in half. I don't know. I always feel very pessimistic when I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's not final gameplay. It's gonna get so much better, and then like nothing really changes. So I don't know. I don't know. It seems like the game's quite far along. It seems like it's been in development for a while. I'm guessing it was in development side by side with Legends Arceus, because they seem to be borrowing a lot of the same elements. But I have hope that it's gonna run decently. But I guess we'll have to see.
At least with the low frame rate background elements, I've found that they're choosing to do that in Kirby too. Like Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, if you look at the trailer and look at the enemies in the background, they're also moving at that really low, very obviously low frame rate, like it does in Arceus. I guess it just might be their approach to doing things instead of giving them a lower quality model out in the background. But yeah, I just recognize it's happening in games that are still coming out like now and about to be coming out in like a month.
I think, yeah, because I think it might also be the level of detail thing is just harder to hide nowadays, because they used to do that all the time with like the N64 and like the PlayStation 1, because it was on like lower resolutions. So like you got far away, you wouldn't be able to tell like that the model in the distance had like 3 polygons. But since we're in like the 4K era, 1080p, 720p, and you can make out things that are like quite far away, that might be why that approach is a little different. They'd rather keep like the model's fidelity, but like not the frame rate.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of stuff that absolutely could optimize the experience 100%. And I think maybe, like you're saying, that is stuff that could be done, and just because it was a reveal trailer, they just had pre-rendered stuff, whatever. But I feel like even then, like, why would they, if it was set to be cutscenes for a reveal trailer, you'd think they would work out all the kinks just so it looks as perfect as possible. But then again, maybe that would lead to false promises. Like, if they don't implement those ways of optimizing the game in the final game, but the reveal trailer is like this perfect, dystopian 4K ray tracing, cell shading game, and the game doesn't actually look that, I guess people would be very upset about that, which I think a lot of times kind of actually ends up being what happens. Minecraft had it figured out with chunks. We should all just model after that. Run the distance.
To continue on what you were saying, Jay, I doubt that, the Pokemon company is gonna pull a Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, where they go from something terrible to just be like, whoops, we did a mistake, we're gonna change. Because I remember with Sword and Shield, when the first trailer came out, and people were like enraged, like, look at that tree, it looked abysmal, and people were like, wow, I didn't know Ocarina of Time was making a comeback, and all that stuff.
And then everyone was like, game push not final, guys, they'll fix the tree in the final release, and the tree is still there.
Yeah, that's the thing. So even if there is feedback on the main characters or the frame rate or stuff like that, I sadly doubt that they will change it. I would be, happily impressed if they do, but I don't put too much hope in the fact that they will make it better. I think what we see is what we're gonna get. That's pretty much it.
Right.
At least the trees
customization has a lot.
Yeah, the trees are better though.
I was gonna say, at least the trees look a lot better in the reveal trailer than they did in Sword Shield.
So
like,
it's a big step.
No, it's definitely a big step. Some people are speculating that it is the Pokemon Snap team that are actually working on like the environments and like the graphics in this game, which would make sense. Because if any of you, I know Jay said he hadn't, but if any of you played new Pokemon Snap, you can tell that they had like an eye for environmental design, and Game Freak really fucking doesn't. So like, you look at the reveal trailer and you're like, wow, this environment looks so much nicer than Legends Arceus, because that was like the main critique with Legends Arceus, is that the environments were so bland and like they looked like Unity asset flips, if that makes sense. They looked very bland and uninspired, and the colors weren't really there. Yeah. Whereas you look at like the reveal for Gen 9, it's an explosion of color and grass and like trees and like different locales and environments that kind of mesh together, which is like a welcome change if they're going for this like open world formula. What's up, Dan?
The world of Arceus looks so boring. Yeah. I know this is a different little tangent, but I guess it branches off of what you're saying. I saw an artist on Twitter who pretty much did like a paint over of one of the environments in Arceus, and it made me realize how much could be there. Pretty much what they added was like stone walkways that were still ruined, like remnants of the older generations that they keep referencing throughout Arceus. And then you look at the screenshot, and it really is just terrain. There's no banners, there's no posts, there's no stone, there's no semblance. It's like it really is completely untouched land. And that might be what they're going for, but seeing what an artist could do without making it feel modern or to the current time period or anything like that was like, oh damn. Yeah, no, they really did miss the mark on this. So seeing Gen 9 come through with their more polished up roads with stone bridges on the side or stone walls on the side and trees and flourishes, it makes it look like, you're right, that extra eye for detail, that extra eye for, yeah, this is going to be an environment that isn't a weird slog to go through.
Yeah, because it's mostly in the colors. Like that was a thing that a lot of people said on Twitter. I feel like if Legends Arceus it didn't have to have like built up locales and stuff, because it is in the past. It's prehistoric Sinnoh. But even if it had like an ounce of the color, like the grass looked greener and the water looked a bit more blue, then maybe it would have been a bit more livelier. Not to say that like critiques aside, Legends Arceus is a great game. I think we, like, all of us who have played it have like thoroughly enjoyed our experience with the game. But it's just crazy to me, especially, that we went into a Gen 9 reveal and we were like, wow, this looks visually really fucking nice. Because Pokemon is so renowned nowadays to kind of phone it in with the visuals, that it was just it was a welcome experience to be like, wow, this is for a Nintendo Switch game in 2022, this looks about right. This looks kind of like the level we should be expecting almost. It's very pretty. It's very, very pretty. And the fact that they've said it's an open world game with, I think the wording they used was, there's no borders between the towns, and like, so like you can go anywhere off the bat essentially. Means that the environments have to be super pretty to like make you want to explore this world that they're putting you in, because they people weren't sure if they're going with the Legends Arceus formula on the reveal, because it kind of looked like it. You saw like Pokemon like walking around and doing their thing.
First thing I thought.
Yeah. But people weren't necessarily like, because I posted it on Twitter and they were like, where was this confirmed? Where did you see this? And I'm like, Nintendo literally said, well, the Pokemon company literally said, welcome to the open world of Pokemon. What else could that mean? Like, if it's not Legends Arceus style, then what are they saying with that?
Yeah, I think definitely there's a correlation between this open world concept with gameplay and the graphics. I think that they're definitely the reason I'm so excited about this as an avid Breath of the Wild fan. Is I've barely played through Arceus. I'm still getting through like the tutorial. I haven't even left the tutorial phase. Like, I just haven't had time to play through it. But through what I've played through, I've loved it and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And the gameplay of it is so cool. And I think Pokemon, personally, from my experience, and I'm a newbie to the Pokemon field, but I've always enjoyed Pokemon gameplay wise. Like, I think it's always been really finely tuned. Again, for the games that I played, very finely tuned and designed to be exciting and strategic, and you know, you get your Pokemon super powerful and it's just exciting to just crush your opponents, whatever else. Like, that aspect of it I think has always been fun. But I could see how a lot of people are also like, okay, well, graphics aren't this and they could be that and they could be this. And I think this looks like, if they're going off of all their experience of game mechanics and strategy mechanics, and then they're going off of putting their absolute best of graphics into it, I mean, this could be like the ultimate Pokemon game. They're getting a beautiful game that has extremely fun gameplay, getting like the best of open world and Pokemon. Like, I mean, this could be a really huge game. So I personally, as a newer Pokemon fan, I'm very excited for what this could potentially be.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with like most of what you said. Side tangent. Good thing you didn't watch the presents, because that ruined like quite a bit of Legends Arceus.
Really?
I remember watching it and I saw a specific thing and I was like, I'm just gonna not retain what I'm looking at right now.
Oh my! Ruined in what sense? Like it was a spoiler for the game, or it was something?
In Legend, yeah. In the presents, like in particular, because you just said you hadn't played much of Arceus. Yeah. There was like I think it was the thing that they ended their like Arceus segment on. That like had a very big spoiler for something I'm guessing doesn't happen until way late into the game, and I'm like. First of all, what the fuck? Second of all, what the fuck? The game came out like a month ago. Come on.
Yeah, pretty couple steps ahead of them, which I think is hilarious, because I have barely even gotten through the tutorial of Arceus, and they're like, by the way, there's another one coming down the pipeline, so you better be ready for it.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with what you were saying about this seeming like they're trying to take everything, like all of the critique they've kind of had in the past when it comes to approaching Pokemon games like this. Like, this looks like a dramatic step up from Pokemon Sword Shield, and that is just a complete blind. I'm eyeballing it based on the reveal trailer, but like visually it looks a lot cooler. If it's anything like Arceus and the fact that you can sneak around and catch Pokemon in the wild, you gather materials, I guess, and they kind of incorporate that with like a mainline Pokemon feel. Like there's gyms, there's a Pokemon League, but you still have like the gameplay of Legends Arceus. I think that's like such a good way of shaking up the formula, because so many people over the years were like, oh yeah, enjoy your $60 game that's reskinned over and over, and you're going to keep throwing money at it every 3 years, because I mean the Pokemon formula kind of got very tiring for people that were into the series, because it's been the same game essentially since Pokemon Red and Blue, with like some gimmicks here and there. Like they had Mega Evolutions, they had Z moves, they had Dynamaxing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only three? Mega Evolution, Z move, Dynamax?
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was, because Mega Evo was X, Y. Sun Moon was Z moves, and then Sword Shield was Dynamax. And then this is the next gen after Sword Shield. So
what's the gimmick?
Yeah, that's true. That is another thing I was going to talk about, but fuck, I went on such a tangent that I forgot my original point.
We were talking about all the best parts to make one really good game.
Yeah. I was going to say Legends Arceus was definitely them putting the feelers out, which is a really scary concept, because what would have happened if people, I think you said this to me yesterday, what would have happened if people didn't like Legends Arceus?
Whoops. $1 million game down the drain that we were going to develop.
It seemed like they were kind of banking on people really liking Legends Arceus, because the whole concept of Legends Arceus was them. It seemed like it was them putting the feelers out from a marketing standpoint now, because it's a whole new gameplay formula. So how else to sell old Pokemon fans on it, then throw in a bunch of familiar, like fan favorite Pokemon into like an open world kind of setting? You know, the star Pokemons being Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott. Yeah, it took me a second. Which are like fan favorite Pokemon from each of their gens. The Gen 4 in general being like a fan favorite, like amongst Pokemon fans in general. It's like they wanted to try the new formula, but they were like, okay, let's test it with a generation of Pokemon that we know people love. And thank God it worked out, because if not, then it would have been a bit yikesy if they had to try and rework this into another game or something. But you do bring up a very good point, Jay. What is the gimmick of this generation? And usually, okay, the Japanese logos of Pokemon give a hint towards what the gimmick of this generation is going to be. Yeah. Because if you look at like, let me show you guys this real quick. If you look at, this is the Pokemon X and Y logo, just for anyone that didn't know this at home as well. There's the Mega Evolution Stone. You see that? That's the Mega Evolution Stone. Whereas if you look at the English logo, nowhere to be seen.
Oh, that's so interesting.
But then if you look at Sun and Moon, the little Z move crystal, it's right there. You see that, the little Z move crystal?
Yeah.
And then Sword Shield, just, you know, might as well go through the motions.
But it would be like the Dynamax thing or Pokemon.
Yeah. The little Dynamax logo. See that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's subtle, but it's there. Whereas they completely get that. They completely get rid of that on the English logos for whatever reason. So, and there is a thing like that on the Scarlet and Violet logo, which I'll show you guys real quick. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say if there's even one. I'm assuming I would assume there's one out already.
Yeah. So obviously, let's get a refresher. This is the Scarlet Violet logo in English. And then the Japanese logos. Bam. See that little star crystal? There's a little tiny little star crystal.
It kind of looks like a weird revive crystal, you know?
It does.
Yeah.
Max revive.
Yeah.
Grass cat will have 9 lives. That's what it means.
Huh.
Yeah, so that is going to be the gimmick of this generation, whatever the little star revive crystal thing is. And like it's interesting to try and think about like what it could be, because obviously last gen we had really fucking big Pokemon. And before we had weird dance moves that powered up. I'd never played Sun and Moon. What were the Z moves? You played it, Dan.
Yeah. You do like little dance moves, and then that synergizes with your Pokemon, and then they do a super powered attack charged by the dance that you do. Yeah.
I only remember the one where she just flings the Pikachu, you know?
Oh, my favorite.
Bye-bye.
What is this, fucking Glee? High School Musical? Through the power of raw dance alone, I will power up your attacks.
Pokemon on stage, live from New York.
Although...
Go on, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just speculating on the idea of what could be like the new gimmick of the game, and I've been thinking it might be a bit too complicated, because I know Pokemon likes to keep things light for new players and all that, but what if it was that the Pokemons that you're not currently using add effects to your current Pokemon right now, you know, like the team comp you have affects the buffs you get, or the bonuses you have, or resistance and all that. So you could try to pick certain Pokemon not because of their raw stats or stuff like that, but because they give you a good buff to your main Pokemon.
So it's like a deck building thing almost.
Yeah.
You build your deck of Pokemon to try and like you might have like a Quaxley deck, and like you have like 5 other mons in your party that will like that will really synergize with Quaxley and make him like this really strong buff little ducky. And we can have like a Fuecoco build that will make his like fire attacks like really like 2 times damage or something stupid like that. That's an interesting approach. Sorry, go on, Jay.
No, I could be wrong about this, or I was lied to, but during Sword and Shield, I was told by my chat, so know that there's a 70% chance it's a lie.
Of course.
I was told during Shiny Hunts, if you have eggs in your party and you put a fire type at the bottom of your party, it would heat up. That works?
It's called Flame Body.
Actually,
yeah, it's an ability on the Pokemon.
You need Flame Body, yeah.
So we kind of do have a similar gimmick to that, and maybe that is a legitimate thing that they could actually go full blown. Like that's actually a lot more likely than I'm thinking now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, like the idea behind it is, you know how like a hen will sit on its eggs to incubate them because it's warm. That's the ability's Flame Body. If a Pokemon has which fire types tend to, it speeds up the incubation process of an egg, which is it's a cool idea. It's a very like specific thing that they programmed in, but it's neat. It's a neat little feature.
What if you had like a Pokemon that had a passive healing ability that just like every 5 turns heals every Pokemon in your party, like true RPG style? You know, like that could be a legitimate thing actually. Gab, potentially. I don't know how it would be a star, but how did we guess that the little circle was gonna mean fucking gigantic Pokemon? We could have never drawn that from that, so I guess anything goes, really.
Well, I mean, if you want to like you know, go further ahead, you see it's like a star that has plenty of points, and all the points go to a Pokemon, and all the Pokemon converge into the center of the star, doing this team-oriented thing.
Gundam Pokemon.
Gundam Pokemon. Put Pikachu in a mech.
I'd buy that game in a heartbeat.
No, you're totally right. Like, I could see that like genuinely being a thing. I don't know. Competitively, that would add such a different layer to the game, because like the VGC would either really love it or really fucking hate the idea.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
It's like anything.
Yeah, true. What was that?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm kind of hoping that, it would allow some really crazy, like, one-trick pony teams where, like, if you have 6 fire-type Pokemon in your teams, you just become a super volcano and all your fire types moves done 10,000 more damage. So only fire types, like, that would be the new meta. It's like, only just get fire, just burn everything, burn it to the ground.
But then you have a full water-type team and it's just a fucking tsunami that takes over. I like that idea a lot. See, what I thought that the little crystal could be is maybe some type of fusion. Like I don't know how they would implement it, but I know Pokemon loves their like unique forms for Pokemon nowadays. Like they have the regional variants, which, speaking of, we're probably gonna see a bunch of regional variants of Pokemon in this new region, which is I said region so many times in that sentence. But yeah, we're probably going to see a bunch more regional variants in the new game, which is kind of neat because I think that's such a cool little thing that they've been doing. We had like Hisuian forms in Legends Arceus. We had like the Alolan forms in Sun and Moon, like the little Diglett with like the fucking blonde weave, and like the Executor that didn't fit on any fucking screen imaginable. He had like the really long neck. We had like the coughing in Sword and Shield that was British. He had like a top hat and he was like green. He was so cool. And like
character design.
Mr. Rhyme as well. I think that was a Galar version of Mr. Mime, and he had like a little bowler hat, which is fucking sick.
That's one of my favorite Pokemon ever.
Tap dancing, it's perfect.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mr. Rhyme is great. He's British. I feel so represented. I feel so heard by the Pokemon company. They know I exist. But yeah, they love their like transformation like variations as well, because they had Mega Evos, which were so fucking cool, dude. I'm so sad that they were only really around in 2 games. Mega Evo, like Mega Charizard. Is it Mega Charizard Y that looks like it's shiny? Like the black with like the blue flames. That's so fucking cool, man.
I think so. That's dope.
Yeah, like I'm sad that Mega Evolutions didn't just stick. But then we had Gigantamax, which is basically Mega Evolutions, but like really big. So maybe there could be like some kind of fusion system where Pokemon, like in the middle of a battle, you use this crystal, and two of your party members could fuse, and like they get like really buffed stats, and they become like this whole new mon.
So hear me out. What if all the battles are double battles, and then it's exactly that? So all the battles are double battles. So you fight 2 and 2, and then you can pull your gimmick card and mix the 2 Pokemon, or have them.
You only get 1 turn. But like if you fuse, you get 1 turn, they get 2. But you have a super powerful Ubermon at that point.
So I was gonna say my guess is that I will forever worry that fusion is out of Game Freak's capabilities. It takes too many combinations.
Yeah.
But my thought is, if it's a fusion attack, something a little bit more compromisable, like fire and water attack. Sort of like, in Sun and Moon, how you had the power attacks, and those could go over any attack. Like if you had quick attack or you had hyper beam, they would both result in the Z normal attack. So I'm thinking same thing, but with a move. So like you can select, I don't know, some way to select Flamethrower from Fuecoco and Bubble Beam from Quaxel, and that creates like a
flame beam.
It creates a more templated, steam blast or something like that.
Ooh,
maybe that would be a good compromise. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot for sure, because I definitely I agree with your fear. Fusion seems like it's on such a big scale that it would be hard to implement. The only way I feel like they could make it work is how they did Mega Evolutions, where each specific mon that could Mega Evolve had its own like stone. Like you had like Mega Gengarai, and you had Charizard, etc., etc. these little stones could be like the mega evolution stones. Like you could get like a Fuecoco-ite or whatever it's gonna be called, or like Quaxley-ite, and like you could give like Quaxley one, and you could give, I don't know, like you could give like a Gulpin, a Gulpinite, and there's a specific like set of Pokemon that are able to fuse with each other. There's like, I don't know, like 15 Pokemon that are able to do the fusion, and there's like that your starters are included in that, and then there's like 15 other Pokemon or like 20 other Pokemon in the wild that you can catch that are quite like that you're likely to come across in the wild that can do this fusion tech with you. That way it's more curated. That way they're able to make the designs look more fleshed out, because they're like, okay, we only have to make like 20 designs here or like 15 designs here, and that way it seems a bit more possible. Because I agree, if you gave if we're looking at like every single Pokemon being able to fuse with every single Pokemon, impossible. There's no fucking shot that would ever work. So that's like the only other way I could see them getting around, you know, that kind of system and making it work. Because I feel like unless they're really truly shaking it up, which they might be, I feel like they're gonna want to have some kind of special transformation that can happen like in the mid of battle. That's like a gimmick card, like you said. Whereas having like a powered up move is cool, but then Pokemon, this is my marketing brain coming out now. Pokemon like makes so much money off of like plushies and toys and stuff. If they have like these really cool, like really fucking like sick looking transformations that can happen in battle, they can make merchandise. They can make merchandise off of it, and you know, it's free money essentially.
Plus, they never made giant pillows for the Dynamax Pokemon.
They need, oh dude, I wanna you know, like what's that like thing? There's like that thing that people like can lay inside, and it's like the mouth of something. It's like, is it like a Kirby?
I know the Kirby variant that you're talking about. I'm not sure if there's more than that, but yeah,
I don't know what the original one is. But why didn't they not make one of Mega Gengar?
Oh my god!
Because like he is just a big mouth, dude. He is all mouth. Mega Gengar is such a funny guy. Have you seen Mega Gengar, Jay?
I have not, no.
I need to show you Mega Gengar. I think you'd like him. No, sorry, not Mega Gengar, Gigantamax Gengar.
Oh, yeah, I know, I've seen him.
Because Mega Gengar is like just the ghost with two ants, right?
Yeah. This is Gigantamax Gengar.
Yeah,
he's just a big fella.
You just drive on in there. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you just park your car on the left.
Exactly.
That's Mega Gengar.
Although, if I may go full tinfoil hat mode regarding the star, I just looked at the star and it has 6 points. And what else has the number 6? A full Pokemon party.
Satan.
Yeah.
This could go one or two ways, dude.
Although, wouldn't Satan be a pentagram? So it's 5?
Giratina. All of your Pokemon become Giratina. Sorry, go on, Gab.
No, but I'm just gonna say, I think there's a link between the star and a full party of Pokemon. But this is full GG tinfoil hat mode, looking at stuff and asking, is there a correlation between the two?
Comment section, come back to this episode in 8 months and tell us if Gab was right about it.
I said it here first, folks, and if not, I didn't. It was Fyrus.
I didn't say it. It was one of these other guys.
Yeah.
They take the full but yeah, is there any other like thoughts and feelings you guys have towards like the new Pokemon gen? Just
well,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. The one thing that I still think is going to be really important to how the world works is, I think the main gimmick of the story is that we're going to be going to school a bunch. You know, you see it in the character designs, and I think that they're going to focus, sort of like in Legends style, on one main town. And that's where we go to school. Because think about it, school is like repetitive,
like
right?
Jubilife. Yeah.
Where you go to school each day. I wonder, And this is something that I have no idea how it's going to work. But I wonder if it's going to be almost day-based Pokemon. Something like... it would go against...
Persona, exactly.
Yeah, it would go against the idea of an open world. So I'm not sure how much of what. But that school is going to be such an important part. All the rivals are going to be classmates. All the things. It's all going to be school-based. And I think they're going to pour a lot of their time into that one area that we saw in the trailer that we probably go to school at. And then maybe we do like field trips to other areas. Does that conflict with the open world element entirely? Oh.
Fast travel, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like the school is going to be something pretty big to how the game plays out.
I wonder how much they would lean into it. Like it would, I would very much like having it be more narrative based. Like I've enjoyed my time with Pokemon Legends Arceus because it is more narrative based. There is more of a story to follow, and it's not just here's your Pokemon, you need to do this, go wild, kid. I like having more of a tightly curated and like, you know, developed story that I have to go to this thing and do this objective, then I have to go and do this, and then there's like cutscenes and things that happen throughout the game. Like that's like a much fuller experience for me, and I feel like the school system could definitely like play into that. But I don't know how much they'd lean into it being like a thing you go to every day, or if you go to school and they're like, oh, you finally graduated from school. Here's your Pokemon. Go crazy. It's interesting to think about because they definitely like went out of their way to make them look like dweebs. They went out of their way to make them look like they go to school. So it's an interesting thought. I don't really have much to add to that.
There's a lot of potential there, definitely. I mean, they definitely are. It's Pokemon. They know how to do gimmicks. So if they'll find some way to implement it into a way that maybe has storytelling aspects to it, I think they'll definitely be able to pull it off. And if not, we can complain about it, right? It's what we do.
Yeah,
exactly. I know. And I want to stress, I know I seemed very cynical and pessimistic at the start of the episode, but I am genuinely very excited about,
of course,
the new Pokemon games. Like a new generation of Pokemon is like, you know, a kid opening all like 200 presents at Christmas because you get 200 new Pokemon. It's just set in that there's gonna be over 1,000 Pokemon in the national dex after this.
That's crazy.
Like, because we're at like 900 something now. They're probably gonna release like at least 80 to 100 new Pokemon with this generation.
Wow.
We're gonna be in the quadruple digits.
So many Pokemon, dude. So many cards I gotta get.
So many cards, so much merchandise, dude. But that's what I mean. Like, a new generation's always exciting because everyone goes through the phase of, oh, these Pokemon look fake. These Pokemon don't look real. They look like Fakemon. But then you grow to, like, you know, realizing, actually, no, these little guys are kind of cute. And I'm excited to like explore a new region. Like the last region was Galar 3 years ago. Like we got like a whole new region. We're gonna have a whole new regional Pokedex. It's just exciting. It's just very, very exciting.
Is Clicky Keys, was that a Galar region thing, or did Clicky Keys exist before that?
Are you talking about Klefki?
No, Klefki. It was Klefki, but then like I thought the version before that was Clicky Keys or something like that. Where it's just a little key ring with the keys on it.
That is Klefki. That is Klefki.
You're talking about this guy? One sec.
Why the hell am I thinking Clicky Keys?
Oh, well, I think there's Clank Clank. Maybe you mix like a Clanky.
Talking about this guy?
You're talking about that guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's Klefki.
That's my favorite fucking Pokemon, but I can't imagine how many people are like, what the fuck, Keychain, really?
Yeah, like, yeah. There were a lot of people that were like,
favorite.
They were like, what the fuck, Pokemon? Come on. But like, I think Klefki's adorable.
That's the best one, dude. 100%.
Clink Clank.
Clink
yeah,
Clank
that's
is
the
like
one that's
the
just a
gears.
bunch. Yeah, exactly.
I love that one too. That one's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, Pokemon don't necessarily always do the most inventive things with their Pokemon designs nowadays. They're kind of Like, I mean, there's 1,000 of them nearly now. I can cut them a little bit of slack at this point.
Yeah,
but
my favorite part about Klefki was that he was also really obnoxious to fight, like competitively. I never played super competitive, but like he is a amazing lead Pokemon, at least in like the casual competitive I've played because of his abilities. So it's so funny to see people opening up with a pair of keys into like a fucking dragon.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's why I love him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're coming up on the hour mark-ish. But I want to ask you guys one last question before we end off the episode. So Pokemon Scarlet, well, actually two questions. Pokemon Scarlet, Violet. Which one are you guys? Which team are you guys? Are you Team Scarlet or are you Team Violet? I'm interested. Give me your reasoning. Give me your working out. I want to hear.
Scarlet,
Team Violet.
Scarlet Red.
Show your work. I want to see why you got to Team Violet.
It's red. Oh, sorry. Spoilers for mine. Go ahead, Jay.
Man, I was gonna go Violet because it's purple and that's my branding. It lines up with what I'm doing.
I mean, that makes sense. You get a pass there.
Yeah.
Go on then.
It's red. that is my hard style. It just I also like the font choice. It looks pretty cool. But
Agreed. That is you have a fair point there. That is it is a nice font. Very
what about you, Gab?
Luxurious.
I'm probably going Scarlet, but I will wait to see what are the the region locked Pokemon for each, and I will judge on that. But Scarlet for now.
I forgot that was even a thing. Region locked
exclusive.
Pokemon.
Yeah. That's a thing. It's a shame because Legends Arceus was just one game, and I thought maybe Pokemon were going in a direction where it was only going to be one game, but you know, it is how it is. I'm also Scarlet because of a very surface level reason of it is my branding. But then again, Violet is my branding too because it's like red and blue mixed together.
Yeah.
Scarlet's got a cooler font. It's red.
It does.
It's fucking
win.
red.
It's the better of the two evils. It's font wise.
True. And to end the episode off, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on what do you think the version legendaries are going to be? The mascot Pokemon.
I
want to hear like some tinfoil hat theory crafting. What do you think that the legendaries will be for each version?
Are those like the sword and shield wolves?
Yeah, like the doggos, like the version mascots.
Okay.
You had Sword Shield guy, which was you had Zacian, who had the sword in his mouth. You had Zamazenta, which was just a fucking shield. You had Solgaleo, which was the sun lion thing for sun, and Lunala, who was the big like moon bat thing. X and Y was Xerneas and Yveltal.
My thought is 2 twin dragons that are serpentine. I feel like if we're going, see, I'm not nuanced on the culture, but like, I feel like they would either be really inspired from culture Pokemon, or I don't know, something about 2 twin dragons that are like serpentine, like almost like Rayquaza-esque, but they're more viewed as a pair than just one serp. I don't know. I think that like something like that could work well.
Okay. You got any thoughts, Gab? What are your predictions?
Considering that Scarlet and Violet tends to be 2 very royal-related colors, I get the feeling that the 2 legendary will be 2 mythical creatures that are mostly seen on shields for like, royalty knights and all that. So probably like a griffin or a chimera or stuff like that. Hippogriff, something like that. And it will both be fighting each other, as in who is the most prestigious one. That's my guess.
Yeah, not bad, not too shabby.
I kind of like that, actually. That'd be pretty dope.
Do you have any thoughts on the matter, Jay?
I'm hoping that they just are as basic as we thought, and one of them is a scarlet herb, which is just or maybe it's not. What is it called? Scarlet sage, which is a flower.
Okay.
And the other one is a violet, which is also a flower, and they're just 2 grass-type Pokemon that have little Fyrus-style plants in their hair. And that's all that they are.
You never know. My theory.
Cool.
my really stupid theory is red and violet are like the first and last colors you can see on the color spectrum, right? And then there's infrared and ultraviolet. What if they're just fucking invisible? What if you can't see them? What if they are infrared and ultraviolet? They just don't exist. They just aren't there, but they are there. It's like an ominous wind.
Chameleon Pokemon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to get special glasses to see them. Ultraviolet glasses.
Each of the boxes are just the logo and a big space that's nothing there.
Nah, dude. But then it's like one of those things where they include the glasses in the box, and when you look at it, then they show up on the cover. That'd be kind of dope.
You have to wear infrared and ultraviolet glasses.
Yeah, it's like those 3D glasses they would include with 3D DVDs. You could just get those with them.
The merchandise would go crazy on these Pokemon. They would sell you a bag of air and tell you it's the legendaries.
They'd sell it. They'd be like, "Oh, the professor is making a new device that lets you see invisible Pokemon to the naked eye," and it's just like a really advanced, like Nintendo Labo. but it lets you see the invisible Pokemon.
But actually, VR for Pokemon to actually see like where the legendaries are going would be crazy awesome, you know? It's like, okay, put your glasses to see where the legendary went, so you gotta track him, you know? Follow his footsteps and all that.
Their footprints are infrared or ultraviolet.
They only light up under a certain light.
You have to take a black light or whatever it's called to try and track it down.
Track it down, detective style. Nice, dude.
Well, that was fun. That was a fun little discussion that we had.
Pokemon is fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Tell us what you're looking forward to most in the comments for Pokemon Scarlet Violet. Also, tell us which starter you're pledging your allegiance to, and if it's not Quaxley, I'm banning you from the channel. Thank you so much for watching.
Be careful with your decision.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thanks for watching.
Bye. Farewell. Goodbye, Mouthfools.
Bye, Mouthfools. Bye.
Bye.
I'm not joking. If you don't like Quaxley, then I don't like you.
Yeah, it's a very careful decision has to be made.
Yeah, if you don't like Rattata, I understand.
I get it, man. We've been repressed for a long time.
Nobody else really does either, so it's whatever.
The lone member of the Rattata fan club.
There are dozens of us. Dozens.
We're like a pack of rats, okay? Oh, dear.
I have so many things I want to talk about. I'm like gonna get off track here.
This is the case of a game that was far more popular in Japan than it was in the United States.
They never went to Mordor. What are you talking about?
It's kind of weird.
But there's real detail. There's like wiring underneath.
You know, they're one and done. That's it. Sold out. So they're super hard to come by.
You heard him, guys. Bring it back. Here we go again. Round two.